This is the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe. That's what it's called because it's neither particularly grand nor particularly coupe. But is that really a problem? Today's episode is brought to you by J&K Limited, an expert in anti-theft devices. Later on I will tell you why modern cars are no longer protected by physical locks like this one, but instead by a mobile app. Stay tuned!
Back in the day, everything was simple. You had the 3, 5 and 7 series, including the 3 Series Coupe. Somewhere along the line came the 6 Series Coupe, which was based on the 5 Series, which was later replaced by the 8 Series Coupe, which was later replaced by the 6 Series Coupe again, and the 8... Okay, it's confusing. As new segments and niches which nobody asked to fill emerged, BMW decided to make its naming scheme somewhat less confusing, at which I think it failed miserably. It starts with the 1 Series, which used to be a hatchback or a coupe, but today it is exclusively a hatchback. BMW coupes got even numbers, so the old 1 Series Coupe is now a 2 Series. But to make things more complicated, the 2 Series is also a minivan called the 2 Series Active Tourer, and this, the 2 Series Gran Coupe, or in layman's terms, a 4-door hatchback with a ham-handedly attached sedan boot, which they call a coupe to make it sound sexy. We've seen similar things done in larger segments, and apparently there are clients who always dreamed of a small 4-door car with no headroom in the back, but with a sedan-like boot.
And the boot is where we'll start. At 430 litres, it's 50 litres larger than in the hatchback. It's also 5 litres more than in the Audi A3 limousine, but 30 less than in the Mercedes-Benz CLA and 20 less than in the Mazda 3 sedan.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting to find anything interesting here, but it turns out that even in a coupe, the boot can be well designed with a smart use of the double floor. Usually in a coupe, the most you'll find under the boot floor is a spare wheel or a tire repair kit or a subwoofer for your optional premium audio system. Usually it's hard to reach as well, but here the floor folds back and all of a sudden you have a lot more space. And if you want to carry something longer, the floor goes back, the seats go down, and voila! You have a low loading lip and a flat loading area. Thank you! A couple of problems. The shopping bag hook is pathetic. The backrests are not spring-loaded, so either you have to climb inside the boot and push them, or go around and open the rear door, or push the seats with whatever longer items that you're about to put in the boot. In the back, the legroom is the same as in the hatchback, however, headroom is an issue because of the falling roofline. On the plus side, there are cup holders in the armrest, place for bottles in the door bins, as well as air vents and 2 USB-C ports.
In the front, it's the same dashboard like in the 1 Series. I'm slowly getting used to the new virtual instrument cluster, which first terrified me in the X5. The map in the middle is the best bit, but I don't want to change anything else because I get confused as to where things are displayed. And it's not that I don't like virtual instrument displays, it's just that Mercedes does it much better. I also got used to the new infotainment system. The interesting bit is that the car is NFC enabled, so you can make your BMW available to your family or friends. Instead of giving them a second key, they can open it and start the car using their smartphone. Speaking of smartphones, if you live in Europe, chances are you either know someone whose car got stolen, or like me, you had your car stolen at some point in your life. Not a pleasant experience. If you want to protect your car, I suggest you check out J&K Limited and their anti-theft device called the E-JOYLOCK. It's for cars with drive-by-wire shifters like this BMW. So, what's it all about? Back in the day, you could use a physical lock like this to block the shifter in park position for the automatics and usually reverse for cars with manual transmissions. Today it's not as easy because in many cases the gear selector has no physical connection with the gearbox. Instead there is a cable to a controller which then puts the gearbox in park, reverse, neutral or drive. So this bolt, it'll do absolutely nothing. What you want instead is something called the E-JOYLOCK, which you plug in between the original cable and the gear selector. The device disconnects the lever from the controller, but the onboard computer doesn't register any errors, so the thief who just managed to start your car using the wireless key scanner doesn't know why they can't put the car in gear. And even if they realize what's going on and they want to remove the E-JOYLOCK, well, good luck with that. The selector is attached with tear-off screws and the cable harness connector is in a metal box which is locked using, you guessed it, tear-off screws. Assuming the thief has the tools, it'll take a couple of hours to get this thing open and there will be a lot of noise. Meanwhile, you have the E-JOYLOCK app on your smartphone and chances are you always have your smartphone with you. So as soon as you get in the car, the E-JOYLOCK recognizes your phone and everything works as usual. You don't have to do anything. You just drive off.
This is the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe 220D, which means a 190 horsepower 4-cylinder 2-liter diesel. There is a 1.5-liter 116 horsepower diesel as well, and 2 petrols, a 1.5 3-banger with 140 horsepower. I had this engine in the 1 Series I tested a few months ago, and a 4-cylinder 2-liter engine with 306 horsepower and X-Drive all-wheel drive. All other Gran Coupes are front-wheel drive.
If your favorite pastime is burning rubber in an E36 that's more rust than patina, then you're probably outraged at the mere idea of a front-wheel drive BMW. And I get it, drifting prowess is what separates boys from men. But jokes aside, apparently there are people who really buy new cars and they don't care much about drifting around parking lots. Instead, they are concerned about safety and ease of use. You'd be surprised how many messages I get asking me if a rear-wheel drive car isn't too dangerous in winter. So here's your BMW on a mini platform that's relatively fun to drive most of the time. The steering is precise, the suspension evens out bumps nicely. What more could you ask for?
Fuel economy is around 6 liters per 100 kilometers combined. Should be a liter and a half less. That's 39 US and 47 Imperial, or 59 US and 63 Imperial MPG respectively. I drove in comfort mode all the time, and Eco Pro I could probably achieve a slightly better result.
Like in the 1 Series, also in the 2 Series Gran Coupe, I hear some noise from under the car at higher speed. Perhaps it's not as obtrusive as in the 1 Series, but I did notice it nonetheless.
And there is still no active lane keeping assist. There is only a system slightly correcting your path, and adaptive cruise control. In the Mercedes-Benz A-Class, or CLA in this case, you get semi-autonomous driving, and in the BMW you have to spend more money on a higher series model. The 1 and 2 Series share their platform with the Mini, hence certain driver aids are unavailable. Visibility is limited because of the thick A-pillars. It's better over the shoulder despite the fact that this is a coupe. And don't worry about parking. There is automatic parking feature which scans for parking spots below a certain speed without you having to turn it on. You just tell the car you want to park in a spot that it found and you're good. There is also a reversing assistant. The car remembers the last 50 meters and it can reverse along its tracks. Okay, let's talk about the looks. In my opinion, the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe looks best from the front three-quarters. This is where the falling roofline merging into the boot lid looks most fluid. In the rear three-quarters, the boot seems too high, and from the side you just see that the rear doors are very short, and they're a telltale sign of the segment this car is in. Prices of the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe start at €32,000 for the 218i. That's about $4,000 more than the equivalent 1 Series. This test car with options costs around €57,000.
This is business. If there is a platform, it has to be used to its full potential. In some markets, hatchbacks don't sell, like in the US and Canada, where there is no 1 Series. There is only the 2 Series Coupe, convertible, and the Gran Coupe. Will this body type make it big in Europe? Time will tell. And how do you like the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, subscribe and join me every Friday, or just click one of the links on the screen right now. Also, I started a new channel about the gear I use to make my shoestring budget car reviews, so feel free to check it out as well. Perhaps subscribe even. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.